So the story that we're telling over here, it's tree and just some form of tree. And yeah, without further ado, I think it's nice if we start establishing every single item. So the character we're introducing right now will be tree. And yeah, I mean, for the condition, the characters will usually cast some spells, and the Leetcode will have like certain rulebook, and we have like the playoff series over here. And I mean, the core objective of this whole item here is that fundamentally what we're asking is that, is this a subroot of the tree over here? So is it subtree or not? So that's what we are fundamentally gonna ask for the most parts. We go up to the playoff series. One surprising element of what they do is that, because they were like asking like a core objective, right? So they were actually talking about brute force. So this one will be Operation Z, where he will check this, is it valid or not, right? So I mean, the moment you go the first element is already invalid. So then they move on, go down to check. You check this, and it is valid, right? And that somehow was actually the brute force way. I didn't know you can brute force it this way. I didn't know you can cast Operation Z in this manner. And now I think I'm just trying to recall what they did. I'm just guessing at this point is that it's Operation Y, where they start asking, is this the subroot of this? So from how I recall of things, that is that if it asks that if it's what is a subroot, so this item, this, I think this is like a subtree of this, and one is also a subtree by itself. This is a subtree by itself, and this is a subtree of itself. And this whole entire thing is also a subtree of every single item. This is a subtree of itself. This can be considered a subtree. This whole thing can be considered a subtree. You get the idea. And if we were to actually implement some recording, which is what they do over here, which is the first item that we are playing around with is subtree, and I mean same tree and subtree. So from how I see it is that this is Operation W, this is Operation U. Operation W is basically asking is that, and each time you go through Operation L, you are putting on the mechanism of W and U, because in Operation L it's like you reiterate every single node itself. So you come down to the Operation L, you come down to the 3, and then you start asking, okay, is this like, is this the same tree as this? So this is the first question that it asks, and it's fall under the mechanism W, and obviously it's no, and then it proceed to, I mean, it's reiterating, right? So the beauty, I mean, the thing about reiteration, in my opinion at least, is that it has this property of like having multiple mechanism to be running at the same time, which is mechanism W and U for operation L for this case. So it proceeds after W, not the same tree, cool, we move on. Can it possibly be a subtree, he asks. And yes it is, it can be. And true enough, after this we reiterate, we go on to the next nodes, and then we ask mechanism W, because we are reiterating, right? Reiterating every single nodes. Come to here, conduct the mechanism W. Is it the same tree? It is the same tree. And then I think with that, we just return back to the system saying that, yeah, it is the subroot. That's how I see it. So, I mean, if we were to come back to the rulebook, it's actually asking about the core objective, which is it sub root or not, right? And I mean, and how we go about to check was that we actually go into some form of reiteration, and like if you were to ask on how can I actually argue to actually fight against reiteration, is this, that if I don't say I don't reiterate, I go by brute force way. What I can imagine it to be, that it's like operation Z, where you check this, you check this, you check this, right? And that yeah, brute force is check this, and it then proceed down, check this, check this, check this, and we do get the answer. but I feel like you will do this extra step where you will also check this and try to check children's. That's what I imagine. I'm not too sure how to actually argue with brute force, but just now when I feel that if the tree happen to be much bigger, it will check for a lot of like all this. Maybe say here got some random nodes. So if we were to brute force, it may check this. It may check this, and this. And with this, it's like some form of like extra step. But I also believe that operation Y, where you having running the mechanism W and U, you also will run into this problem of like having more items to check. So yeah, my initial impression is this, that I just feel that brute force will check more than what it's supposed to. And for using the tree mechanism, it just allows you to check lesser. So first thing first is that maybe operation U will actually help us to actually save time. So say for example, if here is but how in the first place mechanism U take place in the first place? But if I were to tell you that if mechanism U is so true, what I can say is that it can win brute force in one way, because it can know prehand on whether is there a subtree or not. If there's no subtree, this whole operation Y will just shut down, and for Z it will continue to run, and this will set operation Z and Y to be separated, where Z is so inefficient that it check for extra steps, but for Y you already know prehand. Let's say that okay, that there's confirmed no subtree, and I'm not gonna focus on checking anymore. Really. So with that said, that's the way I think that I will fight against brute force, to beat it out of the water, right? In terms of spell wise, like I just feel whatever they're doing is they're abusing the power of like reiteration, where you combine in like multiple mechanism at the same time. To me, this is the beauty about trees in general. And for this case, it's mechanism W and U. Checking if it's the same tree or not. Checking that if there's like a possibility of subtree or not. Yep. And with that, everything comes to an end.